Hi everyone, welcome to Math 250. I'm your instructor. My name's Professor McLaughlin. I'm on Canvas for a course here. So I tell you to click on the Start Here button. If you click on that, it takes you to the video that you're watching right now. So let's go over the main features of the course. So it's a face-to-face class. So we're going to be meeting at the scheduled times. But it'll be taught as a flipped class, which means you're going to be engaging with the material each lecture period. And in order to participate in the class, you're going to need to have access to a device with a camera, like a smartphone. So each day of class will either be a lecture period or a quiz/test period. Sure. So during the lecture periods, you'll have 24 hours to work on a set of lecture questions that I post on Canvas. So for example, our first lecture period will start on Sunday, January 7th at 8 a.m. and will end on Monday at 10:05. So you can see it's available 24 hours before we actually meet. So you can look at the stuff ahead of time. So during the lecture periods, then I'll be giving mini lectures, uh, going over the solutions to lecture questions and answering questions that you have. And you can earn extra credit points by posting correct answers to the lecture questions within a certain time frame. So each question will have a time frame attached to it. When the time frame's over, then I will be going over the question on the board and then answering any questions you have. So let's see, I'll be sending the class numerous emails each week, so make sure you start checking your emails on a regular basis. Okay, so let me go to the bottom here. So here is, if you click down here, well, it has my email address on top up here, and my office is UH234. If you click on how to contact a professor, brings you to my office hours and my email. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, so let's go over the syllabus now. So if you look up here, you have links to important class information. Let's click on syllabus. So this is a Math 250, which is multivariable calculus. And we're going to meet in person on Monday, Wednesday from 8 to 10:05 in T600A. Okay, here's my email address again, my office. And my office hours will be Monday, Wednesday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. in UH234, and also 6 to 7 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday on Zoom. And you can send me an email anytime, and I'll respond within a few hours, except over the weekend, it might take a bit longer. So the prerequisite for 250 is Math 160. You should have passed Math 160. Here's a textbook we'll be using. And I have a link to the textbook here that you can use. If you want a hard copy, you can buy one, but here's a link to a PDF copy. Course modality, we already went over. Modality, it's going to be taught as a flip class. Okay, just notice this should be January 7th, not 17th here. I'll fix that. Okay. And here's a video that explains how you can participate during the lecture periods. So pretty much how you can post your work. Okay. Course description. Look at that. It's a multivariable calculus. We're going to be covering Stokes' theorem, Green's theorem, multiple integration, partial derivatives, and so forth. Content, you can look at that. SLOs, attendance. So if you miss more than 2 classes, I may drop you from the course. But if you want to drop the course, make sure you drop the course. Don't assume that I will drop you. Homework, it will be assigned, but it will not be collected or graded. Quizzes, there'll be 9 quizzes. No makeup quizzes will be given. Each student can drop the lowest quiz score. And you'll have about 2 hours to do each quiz. And before each quiz, you're going to have to sign an agreement saying you will not cheat during the quiz. And here's a video on how you can submit that agreement. Exams, there'll be 2 exams. No makeup exams will be given. And you'll have about 3 hours to complete each exam. Okay, same thing, you're going to have to submit an agreement before each exam stating you will not cheat. And then it'll be a final exam. So the final exam score can be used to replace your lower test score if it's better. So for example, if you got 75 on your first test, say that was your lowest test score, and your final exam you got 80, in that scenario, your 80 would replace your 75. It would only replace if it's better. Okay, so whites, so exams will be 30%, quizzes 40% of the grade, final 30%. Letter grades are pretty standard. Tutoring services, so if you need additional help, you can go to Learning Center, but I suggest you come to my office hours first. Study tips, you can look at those. If you need an accommodation to participate in this class, email me as soon as possible and we can work something out. Important dates, you can look at those. Student resources, you can look at that, but there's a link to some resources here. And here's our tentative schedule. So the first day we'll be covering Module 1. Second day, continue covering Module 1. Then on day 3, continue covering Module 1. And day 4, then we'll have our first quiz. And then you can see pretty much every week we'll have either a quiz or an exam all the way through until the end of the semester. Okay, so let's go back to the home page. I click home up here. So suppose it's day 1. Okay, so on day 1 then, or 24 hours before the start of class, if you wanted, this would be available. So you click on class content. So then on Sunday, January 7th, after 8 a.m., if you click on Module 1, the questions will be available. We'll talk about those in a second. But at the top here, I have the objectives of the module. Then below that, we have a practice quiz. So the practice quiz and the actual quiz will be similar. So if you know how to do the practice quiz, you should be in good shape for the actual quiz. Okay, then below that, we got Module 1 homework. So here's the homework you should work on to prepare for the quiz. All right. Then below that, I have practice submitting a quiz. So if you want to practice submitting a quiz, because you're going to submit your quiz on Canvas. So you want to practice submitting a quiz. Actually, it's not working right now, the link. I'll need to fix that. You can just follow the directions on that. And also how to participate during lecture periods. You can click on those. So here's day 1. So the first thing you'll do is sign in. During class, I'm going to be passing around a sign-in sheet that you'll need to sign, but you can also sign in on Canvas, but you need to also sign the sign-in sheet during class. Actually, this attendance is kind of optional online. But anyway, you click on it, and it's logged until January 7th. So after January 7th, after 8 a.m., it will open, and you just sign your name in a text box, and that's how you're going to sign in. Then you have your discussion. Again, that's going to be locked. Then you have your 3 lecture questions. They're all locked. So that's what you're going to do for the first day. You're going to do all these things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. The attendance, student discussion, then the 3 lecture questions. So let me just leave the student view for a second. Okay, so let's look at lecture 1, question 1. So at the top, I just discuss what the dates coming up for module 1 and different things about module 1. Then I tell you to start watching this video. Again, during class, I'll be giving mini lectures also. But anyway, you watch this video. And then I tell you to start working on this question. So click on the question. Is to find the angle between those two vectors. So you watch the video, work on the question, and then when you're done with the question, you're going to post your answer. So different ways you can post it, but you're going to use the reply button, not at the bottom, but the one at the top. Click on that. Then you can write your answer on a piece of paper and then take a picture of it. Or if you have a note-taking app, you can write your answer in your note-taking app and upload a PDF to it. But I'm going to show you how to do it with just a picture. So say you take a picture of your work, and you're going to say insert, let's say image, upload image, click on the rocket, then find your pictures. Say it's this one. So say that's your picture there. Then all text, I'm going to call it solution 1, and put your name, so student name. So you put your name here. Then below that, by default, it always has embed image. So I want you to choose display text link. That's going to put a link so I can click on. If you embed the image, it's going to be hard for me to keep track of everybody's answers. So it's more efficient if you choose display text link, then submit. And there it is. Then just go post reply. And I'll be able to see your work then. And then if it's right, you get looks like you get 1 point extra credit added to your quiz score. And if you get it wrong, you can redo it within the time frame until you get it right. Okay, so that's pretty much it then. So that's the main things. I'll talk more about this in class on Monday, January 8th. So okay, I think that's the main thing. So let's leave it there. So I'll see you guys on Monday, January 8th at 8 a.m.